Are you ready then?
It's recording now.
Oh, Kim Cole was here?
So is this gonna be our first official podcast? Because we're gonna upload the video with this one.
Yeah.
We can turn the other one to audio.
Yeah.
Alright, bet. So my name is Lawrence.
You know, I'm Barry.
Kurt the God at Kurt the God Entertainment, Twitch, Mixer, Instagram, Kurt the God, YouTube, Kurt the God. I'm Kurt the God.
And you can add me on Instagram at _Barry, BARRY, Walker _. And then on Twitter at savage _Prince01.
Instagram and Snapchat, law.indie _ on Instagram, law.indie _ on Snapchat, and Space Cadet _ on Twitter, and Lawrence Mitchell on YouTube. So what's the topic? Topic of the day is
What is a problem that, besides for love, what is a problem that what's a problem you're having in life right now?
a problem I'm having in life. I don't know. I don't really have any problems.
Let's talk about self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage, being a prisoner of your own thoughts.
No, self-sabotage as in setting a goal but doing little things that you unconsciously or consciously do that keep you from getting to that goal.
Something that was conscious that I kept doing was running track, messing my knees up when I could have been used to be playing basketball. Now that's why I'm in the transition of becoming a basketball player now.
Something that I was consciously doing was not trying my hardest when I was running the track to be great at it.
Something I do a lot that's self-sabotaging is moving my goalposts.
I know, and I think I know what you can. I guess what you mean by that?
Sure.
So setting a goal, working, not reaching it, so you just push it back a little bit. Is that what you mean?
Something like that. So like how I'm supposed to graduate spring of next year.
Mm-hmm.
So this coming up spring, coming up very close. Like, but
spring is here, right?
no, spring of next year I meant.
Oh, okay.
So
Of 2021.
yeah. But instead of doing that,
Mhm.
I'm moving to IUPUI and pursuing a 4-year degree.
Okay.
So that's moving my goalposts. When the goal was just get a degree.
Right. Now you trying to get a degree that's actually going to mean like
Something
help.
to me. Cause I can make money
Yeah,
off
you
of
gonna
either
get
one.
You gonna get a trade or get an associate degree. That's 2 years.
I can get money off of either one.
Or
But this is what I actually want to do.
Okay.
It's moving my goalposts. So it is self-sabotaging in a way and it's taking a risk.
I feel like when I hear the word sabotage, it feel like you're going backwards instead of forwards. That's what I mean.
Self-sabotage is like,
Like
okay,
you're sabotaging somebody. Like you.
I'm supposed to fast. Let's say I fast for 4 days.
Right, and you eat.
And then I eat something. That's self-sabotage. Like
Yeah.
I gave into my own or
Yeah.
Self-sabotage.
No,
It's only
I feel like
sabotage.
self-sabotage is like you're telling yourself you're going to be a vegan, and then you've been on a vegan diet for a whole month, and then like the first day of the next month you go eat a cheeseburger.
that's exactly
Yeah,
what I
that's
just
what I'm
said.
Yeah.
With the fasting thing.
But
That's
I feel like
self-sabotage.
sabotaging I only feel like occurs when you're going backwards, not going forward.
That
You're
would
going
be
forward.
going
You're
back.
going for 4
With
years.
this, yes.
It could be used either way, because if you were to get a 2-year degree, you could start a career earlier. But at the same time, the longer you go, typically the way it is,
The more you learn.
the longer you go in college or schooling, the more money you're supposed to make. And that's just the natural baseline. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah.
The shorter you go, the less money you're supposed to make on paper. That's what happens.
But that's why I was saying, what was I saying? What was I talking about before?
About what? Self-sabotage?
Yeah, self-sabotage. Another example. Self-sabotage is like, I know I got a lot of things to do today, but I'm gonna sleep in.
Yeah.
Instead of, what is it called? Eating a frog. It's called eating a frog. Eating a frog is doing the hardest thing that you need to do first. Go ahead, eat the frog. But you want to sleep in instead, like in general. Like,
And it's
that's
always, and
self-sabotage.
people think it's always actually doing the activity that's the hardest thing. It's actually doing the thing that's
The
not
little
looked at
steps.
as
Yeah,
the hardest thing. Because once you get that, once you want a routine, it's like once you go to, for people that want to lose weight, so to speak, right? The hardest thing to do is to go. Once you go, the routine is just gonna come naturally. Then now when you stop, and then if you stop and try to go again, it's gonna be that much harder. The first thing, it's always the first step is always the hardest thing to do in anything. That's always what it is. Maybe quitting addiction, getting up to go to the gym, getting up to go to work early. Maybe you Yeah.
Like I was watching something. He was like talking about you getting up to go to the gym. He was like, one day, just wake up at 6 o'clock. Just tell yourself you wake up at 6 o'clock. Just wake up, and after that, you can just go back to sleep because you already woke up. Like the next day, wake up at 6
It's
o'clock.
gonna be that much easier to get up.
Do 25 push-ups, and then go back to sleep. The next day, wake up, do 25 push-ups, go back to sleep. And after that, just wake up and actually go to the gym and get a workout.
So what was the real topic we came here for was why? I mean,
I feel like we really can have that conversation because I'm not afraid to get married.
right, but let's just take the back seat of being in a relationship right now. Let's try to, we don't not necessarily speak for the other men.
Let's speak for ourselves.
Let's speak for ourselves.
As a collective.
Barry, you talking too low. You don't have a mic right now.
No, you're right. Yeah, I do have to speak up, but I don't know. Relationships. Am I good at them? No.
I feel like men as a whole are afraid to get into it. Okay, now I'm not gonna try to make it sound like I'm some old head, but I really want to, because we're not getting younger. Like every day you get older.
It's like you
And I
can
feel
only
like-
talk to so many females.
That's what
stability to a certain extent.
I'm not getting no younger. I'm not getting my prime yet. I'm not even 20. But I feel like if I get in a relationship right now, I can make a relationship last till I'm like, and be with the person for the rest of life. But it has to be the right person. So I'm scared. Now that I'm not scared at all. I didn't mean to say that. But as far as everybody and men as a whole, for the most part, we're scared to commit. I think that's the biggest thing. And then we're scared to see other men doing what we used to do. They used to make us happy. You know what I'm saying? So like, if we get a committed relationship and you see your friend, you still calling up your boys. Oh man, we just hit these females up last night. Blah 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 blah. Now you like, dang, I used to do that. Now it's like you look over in the bed, it's your wife right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what it is, commitment. And
That's a part of commitment.
Yeah,
you want to put all your eggs in one basket and you want to have fun.
I mean, but I feel like
that's why you got to live your life to the fullest while you can, and then when you're ready to settle down, you already done lived that life. It ain't, you done lived that life so far, and now you're ready for something that's maybe you ready to make a family, make a daughter. You got to speak up too, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm ready for a relationship, but I don't think I've been through my full hoe phase to a certain extent, to where I played.
Nah, I heard that.
To where I like played the
Reese. I didn't know he was gonna say it.
I played the field or whatever. I mean, it's cool. I'm not a hoe, for your information.
You are a hoe.
I'm not a hoe.
Lawrence is a hoe.
If that's the case,
I'm not a hoe.
That's not like I played the field or nothing. I haven't broke females' hearts. I've got my heart broken. Don't get me wrong. It's not a good feeling. But it's like I feel like when somebody's ready to settle down, they'll know. It's like when you find that one female that you can just vibe with continuously. It's a good feeling
for the rest of your life. That's what the ultimate goal is. That's what got a lot of guys get scared of that until death do us part. That's a long time. A lot of guys that want to get relationships.
We need to talk about open relationships.
Oh, we can talk about that right as soon as we get after this.
We can tie it in.
I know we can't. I think I want to mention one more thing before we go to that. Dang, you ain't putting the thing thought. What was you saying?
Me, I was talking about like finding that one female to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah, and then when it disrupts you, I just want to say, all I want to say is, for the people that go through relationships and get rubbed the wrong way, it's not everybody's like that. And a lot of people, girls or boys, men and women, can't understand that. They just want to generalize, like, you know what the one saying was.
It's easy to generalize. It's hard to see nuance.
Right. Yeah, I like that. Never heard of that. So you know the saying, what girls are saying about guys.
Yeah, but I feel like girls say that, but they mess with the same group of dudes.
That was from our conversation earlier. They pick up on however they was raised. It's for men and women. However they was raised, they gonna pick up on certain toxic, unhealthy traits
and all that
in that person. And that's why generational curses are a thing. Because like, if it's been a whole slew,
right? If it's been drilled into your head for generations, that's all
you
you've
don't
been
see
about.
nothing different. But I don't keep picking the same.
From what you said was, thing I didn't realize that when you said that they pick up on stuff and they still go for it, but they already aware of it.
They know they don't want it, but it's
what makes me mad.
To.
It's like when you if you addicted to smoking cigarettes, you know it's bad for you, but you continue to do it because it's addiction. That's not the exact same thing, but I just hate when people realize what's bad for them
and they still go for it. That's
and
what
they
I say.
still go. And it's like I'll be on Snapchat. You know, I'll be seeing girls and guys. Oh, these girls ain't nothing for me, or mostly girls. These guys ain't nothing for me. And you look up on their story, and it be the guys. And I'll be like, yeah, and that makes sense. It's the guy that you said ain't nothing for you, but next week he gon'. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get back in there. And I ain't trying to ruin it for the guys that is like that. I'm just trying to
we're trying to ruin it for the guys that's like that.
Okay, well, you said it. I didn't.
I mean, it's just...
it's the right thing to do, bro. It is at the end of the day, because girls do have hearts, and it's just...
Everybody has a heart.
Who do you think loves more harder, girls or men? Men or women, I mean?
It depends on the situation.
I feel like
it's
men are
as a whole.
I feel like it's giving take. I feel like sometimes there's gonna be this person loving doing loving more.
So I should ask you then, who loves first?
Men.
Typically.
Men. Like
first?
I feel like
no, I don't. I feel like
glance.
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, I feel like women love first because they're a little bit more vulnerable naturally. So you get those women that are like, I'm not trying to open up to you, but I feel like women are more vulnerable naturally. But I feel like when a guy gets attached to a woman, that he is like, he will like, it's I would die for you type stuff. That's what I feel like women love. Like, I'm not going by that standard that you got to do that too. But
We
I
have
feel like
a joke, me and my girl, but I believe that to a certain. We have a joke. It's like she'll be like, I'll be like, I love you. She'll be like, I love you too, and she'll be like, and I'll be like, no, you don't love me as much as I love you.
Yeah.
And it's basically, and then I'll be like, would you die for me? She's like, I don't know. And I was like, right,
but you can't.
You don't.
So would you die for her?
Yeah.
Genuinely though.
Genuinely. Those are my feelings. That's me when I'm worried, and when she goes out into the world and worried.
So
what I was really
protect
protecting,
her,
like I would genuinely put my life on the line for her.
Okay.
So I do feel like I don't. That's just me. Maybe other people feel that way, but I do feel like, yeah, I feel like
love and you are in love. I feel like you love her.
Either my love is different or I love harder. It's
love harder. So you don't feel like guys naturally love harder once they fall in love with a woman?
I feel like it's natural in us to want to protect, because
I can understand.
It's a lot of science. Like all of everything we're born that is to this point was born out of. If you believe in evolution, not gonna fight nobody on it.
It's not belief in nothing. It's scientific.
I mean, a lot of people.
You're right.
So this is.
You're right.
So a lot of like this is scientific.
Right.
Everything we do is born out of the needing to eat and the needing to fuck. Anger, sadness, loneliness, wanting to be with people, being docile, being alpha. All of that is born out of two primal needs: needing to fuck to keep your generations going, and needing to eat. That's literally that everything is born from. So I don't even know what point was I coming to for that. What was we talking about? Loving harder. Okay. Right. So the male in every species, the job of the male is to protect his mating partner and his offspring.
Right, and to continue his offspring.
That is human. Two.
So you pretty much are, I don't want to interrupt you, you're protecting the person that's going to carry your legacy, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying about love. I feel like love is like, it's just like a trait of value. Like for you, you're the value you're giving the female. You're protecting her, and she's giving you.
But you don't make it that. You don't make it that deal. You don't just say.
You don't. As a human in society, we don't make it that deal no more. That's what it used to be way back.
That's what they used to. That's like breeding. That's like getting with somebody for certain attributes. As bad as that sound, that's why they.
That's how it literally used to be.
I'm getting with you because you strong and you gonna have my son strong, or you smart. My daughter gonna be a lawyer. Like types.
You're the best hunter in the village,
tall, and I want my son to be tall.
Exactly.
I got the best physical traits in the village, and you're the best hunter in the village.
Let's get together.
That's literally how it started. Now, getting with somebody for that reasons, that should be a part of it a little bit. Like when you're getting with somebody, you want them to be making just as much money as you.
Right. But you know that's not always gonna be the case, and then that always comes to loving. That goes back to loving harder.
Yeah, it might not, but they better at least have the same work ethic.
Oh, yeah,
or trying to get there.
You're trying. As long as trying is really the only thing that you can ask for people, bro. At the same time, you want people to be at a certain level, but if you see the potential in somebody as far as them being with you for a long
you can
time,
see potential.
then but you was about to tie something in. I actually interrupted you. You was about to say,
So I was saying how that's what we need. Like that's what everything is based out of. So when I say that, no, seriously, like I see myself, at least now, spending the rest of my life with you and having kids. I'm protecting my investment.
Personally, right now, you can spend the rest of
Personally,
your life
I
with her.
feel like that.
Right.
So me saying I would die for you is love
That's
as
not
well.
an exaggeration.
It's not an exaggeration. It's love as well, but it's also me protecting my investment. That's how I look at it.
Right.
And time is his investment at this point.
That's true.
Besides the money,
Time is my investment, and my love is my investment.
Yeah, you did mention that. We was talking the other day. You did say that.
So that's why I don't think it's that crazy to be like, yes, I would die for you. I feel like it is like
That's not crazy at all. It's just some people ain't. And then when somebody does it, if you ask somebody that, are you ready to die for me? And just because they say no, you should naturally. That don't mean they don't.
Yeah, I
love you.
don't trip when she say that.
People love different.
Yeah.
Some people don't express it as I'll go. If it was a bullet between me between me and you, I'm gonna step in front of you. That's not a lot of people ways to express how much they love you. Maybe she'll give you the last $10 she got, type thing. That's maybe her way to express it or anything like that. Something like that. Not, you know what I'm saying?
That's why I don't want to say it's loving harder. It's just loving different. But I also feel like it's just an agreement too.
Okay.
She is
like
looking
that.
for stability so she can foster, speaking on the primal sense, not today's society, since 1,000 years ago, since a woman is going to look for who she can have children with to raise and be strong.
Right.
So it's really not even a part of her biological agreement. She's supposed to die for her children. She's
Right.
not supposed to die for me. I'm supposed to die for
Yeah,
her
that
and the
I
children.
never.
That's the
never
biological
thought
agreement.
Never thought of it like that. That's crazy.
That's
I never thought of it like that. That's crazy. You just said that. I never thought.
some
of
of
it
this
like that.
is opinion, but I try to base my
I feel like that
opinion
makes sense
off of
though.
science.
And women, I'm not saying that a woman should never be like, okay, I wouldn't die for my husband, because once it gets to a certain level, you should be willing to do.
You can't live
almost
without them,
everything.
so why wouldn't you
Right.
die for them?
But that I never thought of it like that. The woman shouldn't have to die for the husband. He should have to die for her because she's raising his offspring, and she should have to die for her offspring.
That's why I feel like
I ain't never thought of it like
that's
that.
why I
That's
feel like in
crazy.
certain situations they're always like women and children because it's like the
Yeah.
men understand to that.
That's
aspect.
understand.
It's like, nah, I gotta stay back.
You
bro.
dropped the gym.
Yeah,
Okay,
I gotta stay back.
I never thought of it like that for real. I never thought of it like that. That's crazy. Wow. Y'all drop in the comments how y'all feel about that, because I've never heard about that one. I like the way you just worded that. That's crazy.
So basically that's not a part of their agreement. They're supposed to, after, all right, that didn't work in the primal sense. Move on, find a secure partner and keep this pushing.
And I think that's why. Do you think that goes back to society? Why they say girls, or you think this? Let me know if you think it's different, and we won't even talk about it. But girls, they label it as, men think girls are supposed to just drop everything they got and go for them, and then when a girl and a man don't work out, the girl's already on to the next, and they consider them being a hoe. Or do you get what I'm saying? Since a woman is supposed to only really care for naturally herself and her offspring,
And
she doesn't
look for another
it ain't
caretaker.
right. It ain't even that she necessarily is not invested in the man. It's just when it don't work, watch it. After obviously she controls her emotions and stuff, and they not in love.
All right, move on. Yeah.
And she already moved on. Do you think it's bad? Do you think that they label it wrong as far as a woman moves on quicker than a guy, and it's considered, but they look at it as bad? She's a hoe.
I mean, I feel like that's a
so
bad
let's-
label.
hold up.
Go ahead.
Hold up. So I feel like you have moving on, and then being so hurt by it that you are seeing other,
Not during a relationship.
not the relationship. So let's say it was a bad breakup,
Mhm.
and I feel like either sex can do this. They just go out and it just with everybody.
Right.
But I
That's
feel
they
like
trying to
That's
quit.
still being hurt.
I feel like
But moving
Right, they
on,
doing it out of spite.
yeah, doing it out of spite, that's still being hurt.
Yeah.
So moving on to but healthily, all right, I'm done with this. It's in the past. New partner. Let's talk. and do the same safe steps to get to a comfortable
Right. And
relationship.
let's take a couple more.
That is
just
moving
to-
on, and nothing is wrong with that.
But I feel like in moving on, men are different, deal with it differently. Because the dude at first, it won't really affect him like it affects the girl. Like the girl will be openly like
Right.
upset,
Initially.
and then the dude just gonna go out and just live his life.
Because guys
in
are supposed to
public.
be or looked at as they're not supposed to express
Yeah.
how they feel
But
about
you
a
feel
lot
me?
of things.
Like after a certain period of time, it's all gonna hit him. Like, bro,
Yeah.
I was with her for such and such and this
Yeah.
long, and it's like,
And that's why it's bad for
It's
a lot of
normal.
guys now, because a lot of girls you meet in your life typically are going to end up in a relationship. And I don't want to put no percentages out there, but it's a lot of times out of some, bro, it's going to be girls that's been in bad relationships, and then it's going to be that much harder for you, which is no problem. Being in a hard,
If you're willing to work through
right,
it.
if you're willing to work
They got to
through it.
be more willing to work through
That's
it
what I'm
than
saying,
you
because
are.
then at that point, then she just with you because she just don't want to be by herself, which is another part of being in a bad relationship, so to speak.
If she hasn't moved on.
Right, and she just with you to fill some type of void that the guy wasn't feeling. But then you putting in so much work to be
Both
with
are
her.
voids.
Right, exactly. You up against more odds than she is. You up against getting with her in the first place,
Wait, I think
period.
you misunderstood it.
What you mean, me?
Yeah.
About what?
I said you filling both of her voids.
Okay.
bro. No, but I feel like that's like that toxic relationship they always talk about. Like you know it's bad, or she know it's bad, but she always go back to that same dude.
A lot of it is fear. I don't want to put my sister and stuff out there, but
Don't.
I'm not, and we don't talk about this before, but she was in a toxic relationship before, and she wouldn't leave, and I didn't know. I'm like, what is like?
I feel like the
Because
situation
it ain't like
I'm
you
in right now.
You shouldn't be scared because you got plenty of. You should be okay. You should.
No,
be,
listen.
I know what you're about to say. Let me say this real quick because I'm gonna lose it. Not lose it, but I'm gonna lose the train of thought. You shouldn't be scared because you got so many like niggas in your family in both sides that'll kill somebody for you type stuff. But it's like it's more more emotionally attached and brainwashed that this is who you only point to and that's it.
It's called the what's it
It
called?
was in psychology, wasn't it?
It's a psychological term. It's when you get attached to somebody that's hurting you. They examined it at first with bank robbers and people that were victims in the situation. It's like, nah, this by Iceberg Slim, Laws of a Pimpology, something like that. He was a pimp, and he was having a hard time. I heard the story from Dave Chappelle. He was having a hard time because he read the book. He was having a hard time trying to break a woman down to be one of his hoes. So he went to an OG. The OG said, and we do not condone this, but the OG said, I know how to break her. Beat the brakes off of her with like a hanger or something. Just beat the
And that's
dog.
what most.
Listen,
That's crazy.
Beat the
Physically
dog
abuse is psychological.
mess out of her, and then after that, help her tend to her wounds and bring her some food. And do that.
So break her down and fix her up.
Break her down and fix her up. That's creating a dependence called Stockholm Syndrome. The victim is creating this false dependence on them. So they can't break
They're the
away
one
because it
hurting
be
you,
like
but they're the
that.
one fixing you at the same time.
Right. It be like that. It be girls, brothers,
So I don't understand
strong
it.
men in their family, men that would die for them. And it be happening to a lot of women with weaker connections, at least from my experience, what I've seen.
Yeah.
That is like you said, it's deeper and more psychological because they know
it's bad.
that
You
they
getting
can't
beat
break
up.
away.
I don't understand it.
It's a form of Stockholm Syndrome. I would label
And
it.
it's
as.
like instantly when it happens, you like, I gotta get away from this crazy dude. But it's like
you scared.
You scared, but it's like you see girls and they leave, like they go to work. Like, why are you coming back to the same house? It's like, and you don't gotta. And then for the most part, my experience, you don't gotta kill with them. So it ain't like you with them for some type of connection deeper than that. And it's a kid that's holding a median that's holding you between it. But like, why are you go to work and you come back? Why are you coming back?
It's gotta be a lot of I don't want to be alone. It's a lot of
That's
And you got family, and they, for the most
that's
part,
what
they
I'm
think that the family is mad at them and don't want to be like. They obviously know their family support them, but it's like once I get back, the stuff I'm gonna have to go through in here. But it's deeper than that. But I'm like,
it's a lot of levels.
From my perspective, but I'm also a man.
You're a man.
I'm going back regardless of what the repercussions is, I'm going back to to where it all started. Like, as far as support, your support system. And I know everybody's support system ain't like that, but when it's offered for you like that and you still choose to do the same dumb stuff you've been doing, I really don't get it. And it frustrates me so much more so than the actual incident.
No, but I feel like that's like something like this, like a female's first relationship or like that first body.
Yeah.
Like when they get so attached to that person because it's like
That's why you-
that was
that's
their
why
vulnerable
First,
first.
sex is like,
Yeah.
sex is deep.
It's deeper for women than it is men.
Yeah.
Because it's like
that.
a psychological attachment. Like he was the
All-
first person that I've done anything with.
Everything is relevant.
You
So
have
it
to
all
be
comes
a
back to
whole nother level of vulnerable.
It all
like,
comes back to it. All
He
comes
did
back to
this. I don't
manipulation.
want to feel vulnerable with anybody else. So I'm gonna just stay with him.
Everything is
type
relative.
My big problem be with the people that act like what was I? Okay, this isn't funny.
Okay.
But one of the girls that was one R. Kelly was messing with a lot. She said that he made her eat her own excrement,
That's nice.
right? And she had said, and you okay?
I thought this nigga crying.
I thought he was crying too. We laughing because we thought he was crying. But he was being an asshole. Okay. Get the giggles out. Because this is serious.
Okay, I'm sorry. It was just I had a moment.
I literally said, I prefaced this moment with this is not funny. That was the
You
key
should have said
to
that.
control yourself.
No, I'm talking about him. I'm laughing
It's
at him.
trash.
No, it's flu season, y'all. So I'm not in the best position that I can.
All right,
be
we good.
right
Come
now.
on.
All right. Now, I was saying, he made her eat her own excrement. And she also had mentioned in that conversation that she had an immense amount of love for him. A lot of people was saying, I wouldn't love somebody that. But it's like, I hate when people blame the victim, especially if you don't know true violence. I feel like when you know true violence, you know anything is possible. Nobody's ever been, a lot of people have never been threatened with a lot of violence, or they haven't went through a lot of violence, so it's easy for them to be like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I would have been fighting him. Like,
but at the same time, you can ask people not to get an opinion. Everybody's gonna have an opinion.
everybody got.
But can you necessarily blame those people for saying what they wouldn't do? I know that people ain't
Yeah,
been through.
because you're lacking empathy.
But
But
at the
then
same
like,
time, but
there's
you're not.
nuance. Of course,
But it's not you necessarily lacking it. You know what? Like you like damn. Like that's like it's bad. Obviously, and it's like
That's what we were talking
They
about.
were blaming
before.
her for not
They
being-
didn't go through those certain situations, so it's like they can't put in their input because you don't know what that person.
I mean, but you can
Right.
say people can't put in their input all day.
You don't know
but
how
everybody
should
strong
do that.
somebody's mental is. It's
You
all
right.
about mental
You're right,
fortitude.
and I understand
Not
that.
everybody can take the same beatings mentally.
You're
So
right.
everybody is susceptible to something. It's probably people out there it's literally people you could torture and not be able to get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
Like that dude in the movie, they torture him, try to get information out of him.
American Assassin.
They break
Put
his
his
fingers,
toenails off of
pull the toenails out
electrical.
waterboarding, and you can't. It's people that got fortitude like that, and then it's people that you say one bad thing to them, and it's gonna mess up their whole day.
The only reason I don't have a problem with people saying, "Oh, I wouldn't be doing that if I was in situations," because if they were in a situation, then
You don't
they
know
probably
what
wouldn't be
would
doing
happen.
that. So that's why I really don't care. But okay, you can say what you want to do all day, but go get yourself in a situation where it's like that.
But just
Like
the
what
fact
other
of not
laws we
having
talking about? He
empathy.
said being held at gunpoint. I got it planned out what I'm gonna do. I'm
No,
not.
yeah.
When you're in that situation,
We
all
gonna
that
have
logic
some
go right out
story
the
times
window.
one day too, but that's besides the point. He was
It's-
just talking.
It's like, yeah, planning. We have a lot of things we can't control. That fight or flight.
That can't none control.
Fight or
that
flight
instance.
is a bunch of processes running in your background that's assessing the situation.
Adrenaline.
But that's what, like, to combat that, you train. I was about to say Mortal Kombat, but what is it? Like training in a martial art.
Yeah.
Combats that.
Yeah.
But if you're just a normal person and somebody give me the money,
You gonna freak the fuck out.
you're gonna either freeze or you might fight or you might try to run. But it's not gonna be up to you at all.
It's gonna be up to what you've been trained to do or what
It's
you're
gonna-
actually gonna do.
Correct.
At the end of the day, it's like when you learn a trait. So it's like if you learn if you let's like for example, this is like alluding to something like Stephen Curry, right? No, Klay Thompson. I was watching this one sports science video, and they turned the lights off. Dude hit like 15 straight threes with the lights on. Turned the lights off, same difference. He done shot over 1,000 shots, spent more than 10,000 hours in the gym. He done learn to do it. It's second nature. It's like breathing, pretty much.
Right.
He done shot so what? So when you learn, like when you train yourself every day, somebody came up to Bruce Lee and tried to hit him straight up head on. What you think gonna happen to that person? Without him thinking, they're gonna be like, it was so quick, it don't even matter. That's what I'm saying. Like when you learn to do something to where it's like breathing or it's like a second language.
It don't matter.
It don't matter what the situation is. You're gonna do the same thing.
In a buzzer beater situation. It don't matter if it's raining
that's
outside.
Cool. He gonna be just like he was in practice.
Yeah, that
same thing.
He's been trained.
You've done so many hours of it. It's just natural.
You don't even think about it. It's something that's just a part of you now. But yeah, I guess that's for that topic. Yeah, you never know until you're in that situation. It's a lot deeper than what people physically see.
Right. That's just something that really bothered me. Like, and that's lacking empathy.
Yeah.
Lacking empathy is just trying to understand why somebody might have did that, not why you would do that or wouldn't have done it.
Like
why
what
they
situation
did
they were
it.
into where they were putting that.
Same thing. In class one day we was talking about suicide. I don't know what brought us to that point, but this one girl was like, I wouldn't do that. I
told me that.
But you know,
and that just really drove. Yeah,
suicide is the strongest people commit suicide, not the weakest.
Now, okay. Now, hold on.
What do you mean by strong?
No, you have to.
No. I know. No, what you saying? I don't have a problem with that. But I'm not gonna make it about me. Go ahead.
What do you mean by strong?
You have to have so much willpower to be able to kill yourself. Because the human mind physically will not let you kill yourself. You could try to drown yourself, hold your breath, all that. It will not work.
Or try to stab. You're right. It takes a lot of
willpower.
You have to be really driven. You have to be really gun-ho set, no pun intended, on killing yourself.
If you really want to do it, yeah.
That I think, yeah, no, we not. I was about to say something stupid.
What I was speaking, she was like, I wouldn't do that. I don't see how people crazy like.
And I try not to just feed them and stuff like that.
But people, and they say, there's another thing Dave Chappelle said. He said, don't call nobody crazy. Crazy is dismissive. You're not wanting to understand a person when you call them crazy. You're writing them off instead of looking at it like you must ain't really been through nothing.
Yeah.
If you ain't never ever in your life for a quick second thought, I want to give up. You must ain't been through nothing to ever think that. And people just lacking empathy on the subject. You don't gotta want to do it. It's not you. It's that person and what they going through at the time.
At all.
But that's just. I feel like that's just socialization. Yeah, socialization of the United States.
What you mean?
We're a lot more selfish here. We're a lot more focused on ourselves. We're not very community driven. That's why we're so divided on everything.
Everything.
So you have us as the United States, United States citizens.
Why you think that you can go to community over there in Traders Point, and they got a whole Muslim community over there? This is on the small scale. We have Black Wall Street. You got people that's in Muslim communities,
Jewish communities.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Jewish community
centers.
Sorry, I didn't mean nothing about that.
But then you have it by nation too. The Latvian community is over there too.
Yeah, people try to stick.
Oh
together.
no, we were in my sociology class. We were talking about this. They were like back when Germany or something, before like all the genocide happens, like when the Jews or the Jewish people were
that whole community,
their ghettos, they had their whole communities.
Yeah.
They had one of the lowest suicide rates.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that, and he was like, well, why do you think that? And it's like, everybody has the same values as you. Everybody's been through the same stuff as you. Yeah. So it's like you have
somebody, you have a big collective somebody,
right. Somebody to give you something that you know you can rely on.
That's why a billionaire is straight blow his brains out, because if he's the known, or he if she has known money all their life, and they don't know no worries, they might feel voidless. They might, whenever they run into their first real thing, they might really truly not be able to take it.
Can you blame them? You just said that's a lack of empathy, but you can't necessarily blame somebody for not going through the same thing as you.
I feel like if
you can blame what they say and how they feel about it, but at the same time, everybody, like I said, is gonna have an opinion, but you can't blame somebody for not going through the same situation as you. And
you can't blame nobody. But that means they should hold their judgment.
But if somebody provokes it, you ain't got nothing to do but tell how you feel.
Yeah. And if they don't want to understand it, then you can't make them understand.
And at this day and age, everybody that has a certain social level, you're supposed to want to give your opinion. That's how they make it feel. It's like people in the NBA. You got such this great impact. You're supposed to give your opinion. People want to know how you feel about certain things. And when somebody give their opinion,
they don't like it.
Right. Like, don't ask me for it. I'm going to give my opinion regardless of who like it or who don't care about it. But it's always a place and time. Yeah. But you should know what and when to say it. But at the same time, if somebody asks you about a certain topic and you flowing off the top of the dome, you're going to say something sometime that's going to... Yeah, people's gonna feel a certain way about it.
That's why you should always think before you speak, no matter who you are. And no, not every person. A lot of people keep to themselves because they know you're not gonna like how I feel about this. Right. So I'm not gonna even say nothing to ruin my image, and they shouldn't have to or feel pressure to.
Right.
But I do feel kind of torn because I think of the black situation.
About what?
Where we have a lot of people with a lot of power and a lot of money.
Oh yeah, we can go ahead.
That's why I'm torn.
We can go ahead and go specifics if you want to, because I know what you're talking about.
Because we're on a good topic, and I had a point to prove, or a point to bring up. What was you talking about? We was talking about how communities stick together,
right?
And how we're very selfish here.
It's like.
Hold on, no, I don't want to cut you off. I want him to go first because I know. Just keep yours. You better remember stuff. He's gonna lose his judgment quick. I just want you to keep yours.
Okay.
He's gonna lose his quick. I know he is.
But like we said, you got in place like New York, you got little Mexicos, little Havanas, you have Chinatown, and all these different. It's because we're going to be attracted to who we have a cultural connection with.
Yeah, naturally. If you go see somebody, if you go see a black and a white person ask you the same thing, who you going to? Exactly. That white person might have more experience than me. But he might be from the hood.
Exactly. And that black person might be from the suburbs. But I'm going to just assume because he looked like me that he has the same experiences. Yep. And if I could judge black, you ain't nothing. And then the white dude's going to be second. That's natural.
It ain't even.
It's natural.
It's not even racism or nothing. It's just going to something I'm familiar with.
You're going with something you're familiar with. Familiarity. Yep. Racism. We talk about that another time, but we talking about right
3-hour conversation right there.
But right now it's but people like whoever you have a cultural connection to, that's who you want to live around. That's who you want to mate with. That's all that I need to stop using mate. That's who you want to have babies with and have a long life with, right?
Right.
So here in America, I honestly feel there is no United States culture.
No, it's not. That's why it's no dominant language here.
There's no just one culture.
You have black culture. You have German culture. You have, and it's one of my things is like black and white was created. That term was created when the first slaves got here because they needed in law how to identify. To be white, you were of European descent, but not just any European. You were of British descent. That's white.
And it's even before you go to the next one, they say even a lot of Hispanics, for the most part, Hispanics or Mexicans, I know, not Mexicans, but Hispanics, for the most part, identify white before they identify black.
Why you say that?
No, it's percentages.
Okay, hold up. What I was saying was, slaves get here, black and white's created.
Right.
Okay. Everybody else starts coming over on the ships. Mm-hmm. Fast forward 50 to 100 years. Nah, from the first slave slap, fast forward about 200 to 150 to 200 years. Late 1800s, early 1900s. You have the industrialization of the nation. You have the Chinese people working in the mines. Yep. You have Irish people building roads and building bridges and stuff. And then you have Italians and people of that in New York and stuff working in these factories and just being treated horribly. None of them were white.
No.
White you're a British descent, or we can't tell what you are, so we're just gonna call you white.
Right. A lot of people just identify just as straight European.
You coming off that boat, you know who you are.
Yeah.
I'm a German man. I'm an Irish man. I'm a British man. That's because they have their culture and they hold it dear.
Yeah.
What is white is like there's no white culture. Let me just go ahead and say it. not even just there's no United States culture, there's no white culture.
Mm-hmm.
Because name something that's white culture. What is white culture?
I wouldn't know. You couldn't ask me.
Because anybody that has culture is going to be like, is going to identify with where their ancestors came with, and that's their culture.
The mountains, the Caucasus.
Not even that, but like.
That's why I feel like they try to.
That's why a lot of
attach
Africans
themselves
don't
to
want to
our
be
culture.
black. A lot of Africans do not.
Do
not mess with
damn
black
right.
people.
You're right.
A lot of islanders, from my experience,
Brazilians.
from Cuba to Trinidad, do not mess with black people.
Some Dominicans don't want to be black. They want
to be what their culture.
Right. You can't blame them for that, but at the same time, a lot of people.
And I don't want to be nothing else.
Right.
I want to be black
and
from
then,
here.
And then, but then I don't know if you think this ties in about, but the people naturally that oppressed us want to be black.
Because it's cool. We have cool music. Our food tastes really, really good.
We season
a
our
lot
stuff.
of people like us of the opposite sex and opposite race.
We clean our chicken.
See,
you making it into something ridiculous. Yeah, that was a jokey joke. But but that's kind of that's called, what is that called? Ethnocentrism. Where you believe your culture is better than somebody else's. And there's levels to it. You could be like, I hate everybody and I want to kill it. That's different. Yeah. Me, I grew up in this culture. I can respect other things from other cultures, but I feel like mine is the best.
I mean,
and that's okay.
And I really genuinely, everybody's gonna take their culture to the grave with them.
Not everybody.
I mean, for me,
I'm talking about for the sense of
you're African, but you identify as a black male.
But I'm just saying, but for the sense of the conversation, is people we talk about people that want to be with their culture. For the most part, people gonna take their culture to the grave with them.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely can say I think that our culture is the best.
Yes.
Because we started a lot. There's not been a lot of different.
Okay, off the boat. Let me try. Let me see if I know where you're going with that. Off the boat, we hear the most outlandish and craziest things are being done to us that a movie couldn't even capitalize.
Couldn't capitalize nothing.
A person couldn't even fathom, from forced incest to
unpaid
beating of children to making children mate to
raping women,
rape and whip,
everything.
Couldn't even capitalize. I'm about to make a point about why we so
couldn't even capitalize.
This connected or whatever.
Yeah, where other races are kind of more cohesive, right?
Yeah,
that was it.
We was talking about.
Everybody be talking about everybody talk about Willie Lynch is like it's a parable.
That was a real man with a real plantation.
They talk about it like it's a parable.
Hold on, don't say all this yet. Hold on, wait till the thing. Come on, we gotta get these.
I'm gonna bring that up.
I'm gonna let y'all have this juice. I'm gonna let y'all have this juice.
We talking about Black Wall Street and the Jews.
That's it right there. That's funny that y'all was talking about that, because that was gonna be the juice I was gonna give you.
I remember you told me that one day about the Black Wall Street stuff like that.
Just pull it up.
Yeah,
it was real. They had their whole thing.
The people was mad.
They got burnt down.
They was mad because of how cohesive, how much money was going into the community.
It got burnt down because the young black man was messing with a white woman, just like Tillman.
Yeah, but she was lying.
I know, she did too in Tulsa when they burnt it down. It was a young black man was messing with a white girl. That's the whole thing that burnt. They burnt the whole. Think about that.
Look how easy it is to unite white people.
Yeah, it really ain't. They just gotta. They
had a shared interest.
They share interest is making sure no other race is more superior to them. That's the only reason that they, for the most part, come together.
And you know what? I don't. It's so. We so this connected and disjointed. I don't even think they ain't got no stuff that's flowing like that.
No,
because they got control of the money. Check this out. That's it.
Third of the percent of the money is by white people, right?
The top 1%. Listen, to the top 1% got more money than everybody else in the country.
In the world.
In the world,
yes,
yeah. The top 1%,
and they all white. So
yeah.
for the most part.
Because they know how to keep their money going even when they ain't here.
In the white communities.
Yeah, no, it's everywhere.
Well,
it
now
goes
they
everywhere.
got so much money. They're
It goes
influencing
everywhere.
governments.
Yeah,
They're making
exactly.
laws.
Yeah. So that's what you gotta think about. Yeah,
Money make the world go round.
yeah. It's a simple, but that's a true statement.
Yeah.
Money make the world work, especially when we live in the capitalist society. So
That's what we was talking about. How like Japanese and Chinese from
I'd rather
school they are taught you doing this for the community,
Yeah.
and it's to a fault though because they have a lot of mental health issues because they don't vent.
Yeah.
The way their
it's
language is
straight
based.
business when I'm not saying that we not, but it's just straight like you doing this for a specific reason.
No, what he was saying, his point he was making is the valid point.
Yeah.
Because they ingrain them in that culturally that they do it. So it's part of it is a respect factor. That's it. It's a respect factor that how they do it. But at the same time, they only let them have one child over there.
Yeah.
They got regulations on shit. You gonna have one kid.
And that's for
Because
the
they so
benefit of
overpopulated.
everybody.
Yeah, because they
In the long
overpopulated.
run, yeah.
So yeah.
So when you've had so many, we can't even act like it wasn't no break. But we're
Oh,
gonna,
we can talk about what we said over break. What we just said real quick.
Oh, okay. The point I was getting to before
My dad came in.
we had a break in, so you had things like the forced rapes, like this immense amount of violence humans are hard to break. Animals in nature are pretty easy to break. You not feed them a couple times, you beat them a couple. Humans, you have to put through a lot to break
For a
in
long
general.
time.
For a long time to get them to just think so low of themselves to where they don't want to even look you in the eye and fight
Get
back.
on other sides of the sidewalk when you walk past them, and then at that point it becomes generational, and then at that they start teaching their
Hold on,
kids.
you get on to get to a head.
My
Hold
fault.
up. We talking about. So what I'm trying to say is like to get us as not in So people normally identify with their culture and stuff.
Right.
Black and white was created terms. We're fresh off the boat. Okay. Talked about how even up until the late 1800s, early 1900s, people weren't. They identify with their culture still. Like nobody identified. People didn't really. Even to this day, people don't really call themselves white. If they know what they are, they're gonna call themselves what they are.
Unless they straight.
And there's no
Straight.
And I was proving why our culture we might perceive and other people might perceive our culture to be superior or better.
Right. Okay.
Okay, that's what I was trying to prove. I have to get back to that. Okay, so you had us go through all of this hardship, literally breaking us low to the lowest of lows. When you put somebody through something, they either hold up.
When you put somebody through something that's so bad to where they have nothing, the only way they can go is up. So when they elevate to a certain amount that you didn't think they can get back to, then at that point it's like, damn, like
That's a good point.
yeah.
It might a little bit have something to do with what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like ingenuity. Like humans have to go through something for there to be ingenuity. Like there had to be disease for us to come up with cures. There had to be the wantingness to explore the world for somebody to hop on a horse.
There had to be some type of failure for success.
There has to be some type of failure for success. So you put this group of people through all of this for hundreds of years, and you very little start letting them into society.
Little by little.
Very little. And still not even to the point to where it should be.
What a human should be getting.
What a human of a developed society should be getting.
Right.
All right, but that's besides the point. So of course, the music that's pain filled from gospel it's pain filled. It's all from a different perspective on society from a mind of wanting more. Because all humans want more. And when you have a group of people that's just so low, like you said, all they can do is rise, and they just have that ingenuity. They just have that, like a lot of inventions that most people don't even know that were created by black people. It's a reason why.
Because
GPS.
Yeah.
The video game console.
We really even give the light bulb
stoplights. hold up.
Gospel, all that type of stuff.
All
Songs.
a lot of
Kind,
forms
yeah.
of art, music. Most music was based in blues
Culture,
or jazz,
food culture, and like stuff like that.
like
And they weren't even like we wanted to make that stuff. It just, it was a
it's
means
just
of
what
survival.
we had.
It was a means of survival.
That's what I'm saying.
Our coping mechanism.
When you start inventing from a mind of survival, a hella creativity is just gonna come
Because
from
you don't got no choice. It's either that or
So
death.
with that standpoint, I can't say think about it like that. I think a lot of people that do view that, they and know, like, yeah, that's probably how they look at it. Like,
That's creative as hell.
you going through a bunch of stuff is going to make you creative.
Right, and that's why a lot of people say that even our generation as a black a whole of black kids or teenagers is the most creative one. It is. I mean, even as a generation, we creative, but for the most part, who's creating that stuff? People with our skin complexion.
Just look like the dances and this,
natural,
like the
bro.
music.
I don't even just want to go off the dances
Just everything.
No,
because
everything
everybody
that's
just
like
think we can dance like a bunch of freaking
And
monkeys.
some of it's bad, some of it's good. Some of the bad influences.
I want to get into
spread
more
like-
into putting into people's minds of
how
the
do
brain
anything.
power.
of
You can
Now,
do
let's
anything if you
not-
put your mind to it.
Right, but hold up. The brain power.
Right.
Everything takes brain power. I forgot who said this, but to do what LeBron does, you need to be a genius. No
Yeah.
matter what you want to say, a lot of people that say they're just athletic, they're
those
just
are the people you don't entertain.
brawny, like, no,
You
that
gotta
takes
be.
anything to move, your brain has to send a message to that part of the body. And for somebody to come up with a play, or I'm going to do this in a split second, and their body does it effortlessly, that's a genius.
Right,
Very
to
point
do what
blank.
he does, even as far as politically in the community and on the court, is that much more.
And that just adds so much more
Everybody
to
feels
it.
like you can shoot a ball, but it's not as simple as just shooting the ball and
Right.
catching a pass. You know
No,
how fast those
and
passes
then
come
that's
at you?
investing time.
Yeah.
I put in, a
People
person
ain't
is putting
willing
in
to-
thousands and thousands and thousands of hours.
For somebody to say that they're not good, that's why I stop people when somebody say somebody in the NBA not good. I don't even entertain. I be
Well,
like,
they're in the
you mean
NBA.
compared to people like LeBron or Curry, they're not good. They
But
good.
compared to
They-
you,
They made it.
You know, the
Like-
worst player in the NBA will come to a gym full of fantastic people and wipe the floor with them. I've seen them all the time.
every single time.
Don't miss a beat.
Yeah.
Because it was like,
and not break not a drop of sweat.
because not even 1% of the people that try out is making
Right.
an NBA team, and it's the same thing.
Like, because they say that, like the statistics, it's like there's 12 people on a basketball team.
15.
Or 15, my fault. But yeah, 15. Let's say that.
Quarter 15. You can say quarter 15.
15. And there's 5 in that starting lineup. So let's say that starting lineup is going to go to college. That's 5 out of, let's say, 100,000 schools. So that's like 500,000 right there, right? That's 500,000 kids coming out of high school going into college. And
60-something in the draft.
60-something in the draft.
That's
You
how it
gotta
is for
be-
football. Out of thousands and thousands and
3%
thousands of
3% of the
athletes.
people in college football go to the NFL. And less than 3% of those will make over like $10 million in their career.
But that's that's
Back
the
to your
genius in it.
Right. Back to your
But other just like the inventions, all of these inventions came out of minds of survival, and we don't even get that credit.
at all.
We talk about this. My thing with racism, I feel like a lot of this would be healed.
If it was just straight people admitting what
What is wrong and what is right.
right, and knowing and constantly knowing what they did to try to mask the stuff that we were creating out of
Right.
survival that they wanted to create just to create.
But I feel like people don't want to give us that power.
No, they don't. We not going. It's going to take. I don't know how long it's going to be until they realize
It would
get that
take.
power.
We have to take our own education into our own hands.
Black communities, black schools,
Like we have Black
businesses.
History Month, when Black History is every day. We
Yeah.
learn about the same
White.
6 to 12. No, we learn about the same 6 to 12 people in African American history.
Right.
We don't learn about before.
You can't go.
Black history started as soon as we got off the boat.
You can't
doesn't
go
go
to
before.
a school now and ask kids about Black history if it's not Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, Obama, Martin Luther King.
Thurgood Marshall.
And they gonna forget most of
Nelson
what they learned
Mandela.
about them after they stop learning about
Exactly.
it.
They
It's
gonna
not
forget-
ingrained.
On break, it's not. And they just tell you about them because those are people that white people have to go against to know that they have to go against the white people, and
They
they bit
They
the
did
bullet.
it as in the most tasteful fashion.
Right. Instead
If
of
we
doing
really
what
got
to
into
the gritty what people was doing underground.
the Black Panthers, if we really
Yeah.
got into
To
the slave
the
revolts
disciple,
that happened
yeah.
and all of that, like
A lot of those gangs and stuff was created for certain stuff that pertains to that, protect the Black Panthers and stuff like that. A lot of people don't want to realize that though, but that's a conversation for another day
We
too.
don't even talk about Mansa Musa. You feel me?
Yeah,
that's Africa. That's history before we got off the ships.
That's within like
That's what I feel like we should go back to.
That's what I'm trying to say. We're learning. We need to learn about everything. So because they say if you know where you came, you know where you're going. If you know what you could do,
they're trying to make it seem like nothing happened before we came over here.
That's basically, and that is racism. That is choking the culture, separating somebody from the culture. Literally took them from where they was. They got to speak a whole other language, go by different names. They can't sing their songs. They can't dance the way they was. They can't eat their foods. On top of the torture.
right on top of
That's what racism started as.
sociology. I think that was looked at as separation and brainwashing. I forgot what the correct terms were, but it was pretty much that.
Indoctrination.
Yeah.
Indoctrination. Yeah. A lot of what happens in school is indoctrination.
Yeah, they just tell you all the stuff that they want you to know, and even at that point, you're gonna forget that as soon as you go home for the weekend.
But it's like
drill into your head only the stuff that they want us to know about. They only want us to know about those people, and most of the.
And let's not just say they. Let's say,
like
we can't really point fingers. I have an idea of who to point fingers with, but it's like
in retrospect,
this is definitely on. It's either a very big coincidence that works in certain people's and groups' favor, or it's a very real thing. I can't say the person that set up and decided we're only going to teach this amount of Black history.
But I feel like we only talk about Black history during Black History Month, and everything is whitewashed after that.
For the most part. For the most part.
And it's not even just about Black.
We don't learn about the real really people that really paved the way like we should know.
Right. We learn, and then when we learn about white history or history just in general.
Right.
Because they say, I think Napoleon said, those who write history.
I'm on it.
Did it sound like I said, hey Siri?
Could you please repeat what you said?
History. She probably
thought something.
Those who write history, write all their victories or something to that.
Yeah.
No, the victors write history.
Right, because you're not gonna take information from somebody that ain't. If I go out there to a basketball court and I miss 100 shots and a kid walk in the court and he see Barry make 100 shots, and he gonna come listen to what I got to tell him. That's just
it's like they ask you to explain how something happened. You're not gonna tell them the bad part about it. You're just gonna tell them.
At that point, you just wasting your time. I'm not gonna listen to dude. They only put the stuff that makes them successful because it's gonna look good on paper.
And I think maybe that's just something that's a part of ethnocentrism that everybody
does. No, definitely.
It might be the same case with Black people. If history was reversed, it might be the same exact way. But it's not. We just know how it is right now. So I think a lot of racism is unintentional. It just works out in some weird. It just kind of happens.
When people are ignorant,
and people are ignorant to it.
Right, people are ignorant to what it should be, and that's not necessarily their fault. And I'm not trying to make it seem like that. I'm trying to make an excuse for them. For the most part, a lot of the generation, you know what's right or wrong. At the end of the day, you got social media, you know what should be or shouldn't be said, or what you should or shouldn't do. But for the most part, you can't blame a lot of those kids for what they grow up in because that's all they know. And so,
to go back to the one point I was trying to make, there was a lot of stuff that was done on purpose. Redlining.
Yeah.
Y'all familiar with redlining? Redlining, if nobody knows, is basically how we have hoods and ghettos.
I was talking about that the other day. They redline certain stuff.
Contractors and city officials got together. And city officials got together, took a map. We don't want Black people to move here. If they do somehow get here, we're gonna charge them outrageous amounts of interest on their loans and stuff. We don't want Black people here. That's why you have most neighborhoods is majority white, majority black, and that was redlining, and that happened all through the 1900s.
It's crazy that you said that. Me and my dad was talking about that the other day because I had an assignment. And we was talking about this Indianapolis red line. You got the east side is red line. They said from Riverside past here all the way down past the back end of Subway. I mean, I said Subway, Speedway, all the way down to Brightwood, past Northwestern, all them. All this is red line. It's
Like
crazy.
That's
you would never.
It makes sense though. You know how you driving in my area that's near Speedway,
As soon as you hit,
and then you hit Kessler.
Yes.
Or you drive 5 minutes out of downtown. It's like you
drive
never
from
seen nothing.
all this from here all the way to Riverside, all the way to Speedway, Brightwood, the east side, and it's crazy.
Or no, you're on that one street on, I think, Michigan Road or 71st.
It's really anytime
86.
that makes sense that
You
it's
drive
from here to
towards
Brightwood
Keystone.
though. Huh?
Like you hit that one, like once you pass, like you're on 86 going towards Keystone. Once you pass like that one area where the fashion mall is.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Pretty much anytime you hit where North Central is, or even more out towards Pike, and when you go on the opposite side, when you start going towards like Perry Meridian stuff,
Perry Meridian, Addicts, AOC, LN, all of them.
You didn't pass the red line. You can tell. It's obvious. So yeah, it makes sense.
See them houses.
It's a jump like that.
See who outside. It's really as quick as crossing the street.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that everything over here is red line, you wouldn't know if you just looked it up. I mean, you could tell for a certain extent about what's red line or not, but for the most part, people don't even know that term. A lot of people wouldn't even watching this wouldn't know that term if you wouldn't have said nothing.
That's one of the things
that's a term for the day for y'all.
Purposely done. That was literally people sitting up. We're dividing people because we don't want these people here. And in South Africa with apartheid.
Yeah.
Now, from the way Trevor Noah explained, apartheid was basically, it was supposed to be the perfect racism. Like literally, people were sent out, British racism and American racism and all these different forms of racism around the world, and they came back and they said, this is how we're going to create racism here. In South Africa, you couldn't go to certain parts. You had to have an idea and a reason to be there.
Yeah, or it was going to be, we're going to deal with this first and ask questions later.
Yeah, or they had ghetto, like they called them townships, if I'm not mistaken, which were basically like ghettos, which were whole areas.
Those are the more
really dense, and this is where the black people stay. Don't come out of here unless we give you a reason to.
Not even necessarily black people, but people of
South Native Africans.
The Jews, they had ghettos, all types of stuff.
When it seems like that's always the thing to go
Africans
to.
were biased against each other. If you weren't for the same tribe, or like if
how do you think hoods is created and stuff like that?
It's all just tribe. No, a hood is no different from a HOA.
Yeah.
A homeowners association. It's really no different.
Right over
Humans are going to get together. They have common. We're gonna do what
don't matter
what. It's just got different names.
Yeah.
And we have different experiences and backgrounds.
Going to that street right there. Same thing. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's all the same.
You want takeaways?
Stay woke.
Yeah.
Like
That's how we're going in every video.
Not stay woke like the Hotep with the kufi hat and the always being goofy. Like stay woke, always read up. Don't go straight for one source. Don't have information bias and only look for the things that prove your theory to be right.
Don't let social media be your determinant. Don't let that. Please don't live on.
Don't be a social media graduate.
Yeah, at all. Don't let it rule your life. It's very draining. Take time off. Read books. Read up on your history.
That and don't drink milk. Drink water. Fast and meditate. Yeah. There you go. That's it.
Read Rich Dad Poor Dad if y'all want to know what he's referring to. But yeah, that's it.
All right.
Catch us in the next one. Appreciate you.